Hey, Charlie.
Hi, Jimmy.
What's the most important part of making the jump to hyperspace?
I don't know.
You have to plan it.
Oh, that's bad. Boo.
Yeah.
Boo. Hello, explorers. And yes, the jokes do keep getting worse. And welcome to the only international Star Wars podcast covering almost half the world, but only 0.5% of the galaxy. I'm Charlie, and as always, thank you for joining us wherever you are in the Star Wars universe.
Yes, and welcome to Explore the Force, where we cover all things Star Wars. I'm Jimmy the Jedi, and as always, welcome back or welcome along if you are new.
If you are joining us today for episode 131, and if you get a chance, don't forget to give us a cheeky rating and like, share, and subscribe if you are watching via YouTube. Jimmy, how are you doing?
I am good. By the time people are listening to this, I'll have 3 days left before Thanksgiving break. So I'm just making that push because the kids are driving me bonkers. They're getting a little antsy. So, yeah, so good. It's really warm here all of a sudden. It was freezing cold and then it's warm. We're all over the map here in Kansas. But yeah, that is something I'm looking forward to is Thanksgiving break. So, how are you, Chuck?
I'm doing good. I'm still recovering from my birthday. I will get into that in my Force Encounters,
Yeah.
but I am doing well. Speaking of the weather, it has been uncharacteristically mild here, but we did have a storm and we had a month's worth of rain in 24 hours.
Whoa.
But no leaks. No leaks in the new house, thankfully.
Nice. That was probably a nice test. That much rain in that short of time.
A great test, a great test. So, Jimmy, I have a fun fact for you this week.
Let's go.
Since later on we'll be talking a lot about the sequels, you know I like to theme our facts. Did you know that The Last Jedi is the first film since the original release of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, to feature Yoda realized with a puppet rather than a computer animation, as well as being the first film to feature Yoda as a puppet since Frank Oz retired from puppetry in the early 2000s?
I did not, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
cool.
always I always wondered why he looks a little bit extra kind of crusty and crumply in The Last
Yeah.
Jedi. Turns out it's the puppet they dragged out of the
Is
archives.
that the original puppet? Because it looked rough.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Super emotional behind the scenes whenever him and Frank Oz and Luke Hamill or Luke
Luke
Hamill
Hamill.
combine the character and the person. Mark Hamill and Frank Oz see each other kind of for the first time. Like it's pretty beautiful, I think.
Mm.
That's so much fun.
Speaking of fun, I'm gonna throw us into our Force encounters because
For my ally is the Force.
I missed the episode last week because it was my birthday. I was away in London on Sunday and then it was my birthday the day after. Thank you so much for your lovely birthday message in the episode, Jimmy. That was so, so sweet of you. Thank
Of
you.
course.
And thank you for the post on our socials. I'm now 31. I'm now officially in my 30s. Don't ask. I'm
You
fine.
did
I'm
it.
absolutely fine. But I had a big nerdy geeky birthday and I'm going to show you guys some of the things that I got. So my mum, because she's eternally precious and lovely, she got me two Ray t-shirts and
Nice.
I'm wearing one right now. Look at
Oh,
this.
that's awesome. Very cool. Make sure you check us out on YouTube so you can see her shirt. It's really cool.
You've got to see this. For people who aren't watching with their eyes and listening with their ears instead, it is a t-shirt with the Rise of Skywalker characters on it. So there's Rey and Kylo and Finn and Poe, and it's like a really cool kind of VHS poster design. Super awesome. And since I've recently purchased a piano and gotten back into playing the piano, of course, it wouldn't be a birthday without some sheet music. So I now have the John Williams Piano Anthology.
Let's go. Let's go.
with everything in it from the Book Thief, Harry Potter, the theme from Jaws, Superman, and of course, lots and lots and lots of Star Wars.
Amazing.
Um, Across the Stars, The Imperial March, Jedi Steps and Finale, Luke and Leia, March of the Resistance, May the Force be with you, the Star Wars main theme. It gets better.
She's saying stay tuned for a concert by Charlie.
Yeah, maybe a recital. That can be an episode. I'll
That'd
just
be
I'll
awesome.
just play Star Wars music for half an hour.
We'll get Mark to come back on the show and
No, please don't put an actual professional on, please. I'll cry. I have the Force Awakens soundtrack, which makes me so, so happy because I really enjoyed learning to play Rey's theme, and now I have the actual music for it rather than reading it off my phone. And the last Star Wars music that I got, this is the coolest one. This is actually from 1999. This is
oh
the
wow.
Episode 1 sheet music with the Drew Struzan cover that we talked about, and that's so unbelievably beautiful. And it comes with the sheet music in it, but it also comes with
Oh, that's nice. That's a collector's item for sure.
it also includes the lyrics for the Duel of the Fates piece. So if anybody wants to learn the Swahili, then you're welcome to, and then we can do like a big choir episode and we'll get everyone to join it.
I'm in it. Send me those pages. Oh, that's awesome. Some beautiful artwork, some photos from the show. If
So
you're not listening, if you're listening and not watching, awesome.
absolutely gorgeous. Switch over to watching for a sec because it's honestly, it's so worth it. I might actually just take some pictures and put them on the socials because there's like a whole poster
Absolutely.
in here as well.
You should do it. Get you
But
playing
no.
the piano with some music
Mhm.
and then show off all your stuff. I think that'd be great.
Birthday show and tell. And I know that I shouldn't speak this on the podcast, and don't worry, I won't show it so people don't feel sick and upset and offended. I did get some Star Trek merch for my birthday as well, because I know, I'm sorry. um, I don't know if you're familiar with the airbrushed commemorative plates that were very, very popular in the 90s.
Well, yeah, I mean,
For
everything.
yeah, for everything. I have one of those for Star Trek, and it is quite possibly the most hideous and beautiful thing I've ever owned in my life, and I'm looking forward to putting it pride of place in our study.
Nice, nice, nice.
But anyway, enough of that. Jimmy, do you have a force encounter for this week?
My Force encounters. My wife got me this today, this hoodie. My first Star Wars hoodie,
Ooh,
other than
very
Explore the Force stuff.
nice.
So this is like pushed out. It's kind of cool. It's like textured. It looks really neat. I'll be living in this thing once it gets colder. Um,
Mm.
and then my Force encounters are books, Charlie. Books. Star Wars books. I
Star
sat
Wars
down and I
books.
started thinking about all the stories that I have read and or listened to, or a combination of the two, which is usually what happens with me because I listen when I'm driving. Then if I have some free time, I'll sit down with coffee and read. Just the Bad Batch, Sanctuary, Jaws of Jakku, Rise of the Red Blade, Shadows of the Sith, Mask of the Fear. Now, some of these are older books, some of these are new. Delilah S. Dawson is crushing it. I read two of her books back to back. Wow. Just killing it. Mask of Fear, just started that by Adam Christopher. He's the one who wrote Shadows of the Sith. I just got back around to that. I finished The Crystal Crown by Tessa Gratton. People, there's never a downtime in Star Wars because there's always books, and that's not even to talk about the High Republic stuff I read since January. So just want to give a shout out to all the literature out there, all the great stories, just keeping things alive, like Jecki and Yord and the Bad Batch characters and just some behind the scenes stuff. Oh, Phasma's on that list. I just finished that as well. I mean, just unbelievable stuff out there, unbelievably talented people writing this stuff, and then unbelievably talented people like Mark Thompson. And is it January? I can't think of her last name. She does a lot of the books. When it's a lot of female cast, she usually does them. She did a beautiful job with the Phasma book. Just so many talented people out there, folks. If you get a hankering for Star Wars, and you don't like to read, get on Audible and listen. And they're not paying us to say any of that. I just think that listening to a Star Wars book is an event. It's not just hearing someone talk, or just find something that you like and read it. If you want any recommendations, send me a DM and I will give you, we'll talk about where you want to start and we'll get you rolling. But the Star Wars books, people need to get into them. And that's my Force encounter, because I just realized how much I've been listening over these last few months and just kind of blew me away.
That makes me so happy to hear. I have to admit, I'm still not like into the Star Wars books, even though, as you guys can see behind me, if you're watching, I am an avid reader and a book obsessive. I'm a book dragon. That would be my dragon hoard. It would be books. Um, I've only read I've read everything Rey adjacent,
Mhm.
anything to do with Rey and the sequel era and her backstory and her as a character. I've absolutely hoovered up. Everything else, like I've got a copy of like the Darth Plagueis novel that I've read like one page of.
Oh my God, you
I
need to dive
don't.
into that.
I need.
So good.
I
James
feel like I
Antonio
need to take some
crushes
time.
it.
Jimmy,
Crushes.
I'm gonna DM you and be like, "Can I have some book recs, please?"
Yes, absolutely. Man, there's so much good stuff out there, old, new. I don't have a lot of knowledge about. Mike and I actually talked about this last week. We don't have a ton of knowledge about the EU because it really wasn't my time of my life where I was reading a ton.
Mm,
It kind of works out for me. I'm not one of those angry 50-year-old guys. They ruined my Star Wars. But I do have a couple that I've read, the Kenobi and then the Darth Plagueis book. Just outstanding.
mm,
And there's so much material there. I know Kathleen Kennedy famously said they don't have anything that they can use like Marvel, but I'm like, you kind of do, And I'm not trying to bash on her. I'm just like, you shouldn't have said that. Like, there's tons of stuff out there that they pull from. Um, I mean, I still think that the Kenobi book would be a great season 2. So,
mm.
but yeah, absolutely get into it. And if you have Audible and you don't like to like read, like you sit down and you fall asleep or whatever. I mean, obviously you're an avid reader, listening to stuff online on Audible is crazy. Like the sound effects, the guy's name is actually Mark Thompson as well, I think, that does all the editing and like sound design on those.
Nice.
And he does a phenomenal job. I know Taylor and I were at talks. We might try to do something together and get him on to talk to him about what that process is like. But I mean, they bring those pages to life, and it's a lot of fun. So maybe try that, get yourself into it. The High Republic, now that it's slowed down, well, stopped technically, you could get caught up or something. There's tons out there, lots of good reading.
Well, looks like we've all been busy, busy, busy then. So I think it's time to head over to Batu for the news slash the main show. I'll get into it when we get there.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000.
For those who are among the 900 with news media or promotional tickets, this sneak preview probably will be the only chance to see the Empress.
So this week, we decided that there has been such a colossal amount of Star Wars news. It seems only fair to do one big cowboy roundup and go through what's been going on this week in Star Wars, because I feel like every single day I have opened my eyes, there have been 5 new articles, 2 new interviews with important people in Star Wars, and it just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming. So we have very kindly organized all of this for you, our dear watchers and listeners. So
When she
let's
says we, she means
do.
her. She did all the hard work behind the scenes. I want to give credit where credit is due.
Thank you,
Chuck does a
fans.
lot of
Thank
the heavy
you.
lifting on these.
I like a research project. I like a gather. So I'm going to kick us off with an article from Variety. Skeleton Crew director John Watts was interviewed about Spider-Man, his first horror film, Clown, which is
Oh,
apparently absolutely terrifying.
it looks
And of
terrifying from
course,
a clown.
ugh,
Ugh.
it's getting like a whole kind of remaster re-release. Go and read the article because it's actually really interesting. And of course, he was asked about Star Wars. When he was asked, "Do you expect to make more Skeleton Crew?" he replied with, "I mean, I love Star Wars. I'd love to do anything in the Star Wars universe, and I think we set it up in a way where the story can continue in a lot of interesting ways." Well, duh, fork found in kitchen.
I'm so surprised and shocked right now.
Oh, shock horror. Yes, give me season 2 of Skelly Crew immediately. I love those kids. I love the story. I yes, 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 and 100 times yes. What do you mean? I think we set it up in ways that we could continue.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, and this is some of my research for a video that we posted, hopefully this had posted after we got done recording, but Skeleton Crew takes place in 9 ABY. So that would push these kids into the Mandoverse if we want to, right? Now they're gonna have to hurry up though, because these kids, if you know anything about, I mean, I don't, I'm around kids. Yeah, they're shooting up. Like when we had those, we had Ravi on, and Kiriana, like they look like they're 20 years older than they were when they
Yeah.
filmed shows, and it only been 2 years. So they're kind of running up against the fact that those kids are going to age out of, not out of the series, but they're going to age out of when you can put them in places, or you wait long enough, you could throw them into the sequel or the sequel trilogy. So I think that that would be awesome. Yeah, and I think they did a great job of leaving it very ambiguous as far as, and
Mm.
if you're not I had to look up when it was happening. Like when did it take place? I had to look that up because it's just so like you just don't know. And so 9 ABY is the official Wikipedia uh, date, and so I think there's a lot of potential. But like I said in my video, these kids are getting more and more jobs, and we know I can't think of the actress that plays Fern's name right off the top of my head, but she's a new Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ye-
I mean, that's a series. Like they're gonna have to like film around that. They're gonna have to. I mean, Kiriana's making albums. I know that Ravi's doing stuff. I just saw something on his Instagram where he was doing some stunt work himself, flipping off a truck onto a thing. So I'm like, these kids are
Crazy
impressive.
kids.
Yeah, impressive. What else do we got? So next week, Empire Magazine are apparently releasing an issue exclusive about the upcoming film, The Mandalorian and Grogu, with some sneak peeks. That's exciting. If you want more exclusives, check out last week's episode where we got to sit down. Well, not we got to sit down. Charlie and Jack got to sit down with Brendan Wayne, and he called the Mandalorian and Grogu film franchise changing.
Hmm.
Do you think, Charlie, you were in on this interview, you were live with them, um, the vibe that you were feeling, franchise changing is a pretty big statement to make. When Jack asked him, what's one phrase or term you would use to,
Hmm.
to,
I think up until that interview, I'd been relatively just sort of. In fact, I actually think I'd been somewhat negative towards the Mando and Grogu film in previous episodes when we discussed it, because like we've had 3 seasons of it, etc., etc., etc. But actually getting to sit down and talk with Brendan, and there were quite a lot of things that were said off camera that I cannot disclose and I should not be disclosing. Um, that make me feel like this is going to be something really, really, really special, really different, like really just, yeah, like I think, yeah, like you said, franchise changing. The energy and the hype behind this is just on another level. And I feel like we're getting this really nice trickle of bits and pieces, a little bit of a teaser trailer, some promo shots, and obviously, like the Empire magazines get all of the exclusive and all of the juicy stuff. So I'm excited to see what's printed on those pages. But I still don't want to wait until, what is it, 2027?
no, this is next
Is it
May.
next year? Okay.
Starfighter is
Okay.
2027. So Mando and
Thank you.
Grogu will be May of 26.
Okay. Yeah, I still can't wait that long. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And I mean, before long, I mean, just think about this. Before long, we're going to be sitting in the theater watching Star Wars. And like I said last week on my Force Encounter, having gotten to see the trailer that we've seen 100 times, but I saw it on the IMAX screen. I mean, I was kind of like, it's kind of emotional for me. I was sitting there getting ready to watch Predator Badlands, which Dan Trachtenberg needs to become part of the Star Wars family. But
Was it
seeing,
good?
oh, it was so Star Warsy, it's insane. Um, but yeah, seeing that on the big screen, and then I knew, I getting ready to drop that episode after I edited and listening to that, and I was like, franchise changing, what the heck? You know what I mean? Like, I wish I had been in on that interview, but yeah, that's exciting.
Incredibly exciting. Speaking of exciting, if you're tired of hearing me bang on about this, no, you're not. You're just going to have to keep listening to me go on about it. The Lucas Museum of Narrative Art has dropped some exciting news via their social media this week. The official opening date has been announced. It is the 22nd of September, 2026, which also happens to be Ashley Eckstein's birthday. Cute little coincidence. I
Mm.
don't know about you, Jimmy, but I am so unbelievably excited for this to open. It'd be an absolute dream to go, and I really think we're going to have to organize some kind of group trip.
I'm
Like,
down.
I'm willing to get on a plane for, what is it, like 12 hours to California?
Well,
11, 12 hours from
probably because
there?
it's like 6 hours from New York, and you're going to add 3, so you're looking at a 9 to 10 hour trip probably. But it'll be worth it.
Oh, it would be so worth it. I'm one of those weird people that cries in public art galleries, so you guys can enjoy dealing with that.
We will just leave you to yourself, and we'll walk away.
Good plan. Exceptional plan. Just me in front of like General Grievous just sobbing.
Yes,
That's for
I
the socials.
yeah, I would like to make this part of my trip in 27 for Los Angeles. That's my
hmm
plan,
I think
anyways.
that's what a lot of people are
Yeah,
planning to
I
do,
think
like, and
that
lining up with celebration.
I plan on going a couple days early, hopefully getting to do that, and hopefully getting to help the Belgian prop builders at Celebration. So I'll be there probably a couple days early just to try to fit this in. Because outside of that, I'm not really care that it's in Los Angeles, but I'm excited because this gives me access to something like this. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to get there and see it. All right, this next bit of news is all about Starfighter. It doesn't seem like we can even get through a week now without something coming out. This time, and thank you to bleedingcool.com for the summary. Talking to Screen Rant, Levy summed up what the experience of filming Starfighter has felt like so far. He says, "My experience is that I genuinely feel like my 10-year-old self is on set with me every day. It is astonishing and it's complicated and thrilling every day. Ryan Gosling, we all know how brilliant he is, but he's an incredible creative partner. And to fill out the cast with other amazing actors like Mia Goth, Matt Smith, and Amy Adams, and to have this revelation of a young actor of Flynn Gray is more creatively satisfying than I dreamed it would be. The shoot's going well, and as you know, we're a little over halfway done. I'll be back on that set Monday morning." Halfway done. Talking about Matt Smith, Levy also went on and said that Matt Smith being cast in Star Wars after previously being cut from The Rise of Skywalker. So that's pretty exciting that he gets back, he got pulled back into it, right?
So, if people didn't know, Matt Smith was reportedly in discussions for a transformative role way back in the days of The Rise of Skywalker that would have been a big story detail, but the part was ultimately cut due to changes in the script before filming. While Matt hasn't confirmed the exact character, widespread speculation supported by a deleted YouTube video is that he was to play a young or cloned version of Palpatine. The role was scrapped when the filmmakers decided to proceed with Ian McDermott reprising the role of the aged Emperor.
Yeah, that would have been nuts. It would have probably been a little bit cooler than what we got, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, one more chance to see Ian McDermott as the Emperor is pretty cool too.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to shake a stick at that.
Yeah.
That's my granddad right there. So
This is
then,
exciting. I mean, to have someone, and obviously they got to say the right things, but he's rattling this stuff off. He's hitting all these big points. Mia Goth, Matt Smith, Amy Adams, and then talking about what a great actor Flynn Gray must be. Because I mean, we don't really have a lot of resource
mhm.
material on the youngster. And of course, we have tons of stuff with Ryan Gosling and all the interviews, and he does seem pretty amazing. He is Knuff, so
He is
I'm pretty
indeed.
excited for this movie.
I am, and I think obviously this has like become a real passion project for Sean Levy, and it makes me unbelievably happy to hear things like he feels like his 10-year-old self is with him and they're hand on hand on the set, just living out all of his Star Wars dreams. And obviously, like Mia Goth especially is having an absolute whale of a time in popularity at the moment. If people haven't seen the new Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein, it's on Netflix. Go and watch it. It's absolutely incredible, and she is sensational. She is sensational in everything that I've seen her in. Matt Smith is a British icon in terms of film and television, especially for his role as Doctor Who. Amy Adams. another sensational. I feel like he's got such a wonderful cast together. I feel like for the first time in a long time, it feels like all of the pieces of Star Wars have come together just so, especially the path that Disney have been laying. The yellow brick road has finally reached Oz, like we're going.
Yes, I mean, yeah, speaking of like everything coming together, stars aligning, I mean, Levy himself says it feels like destiny's being fulfilled, like everything's working out. We don't know exactly, I mean, rumors are out there about who's playing what, but we don't
Hmm.
know anything. Um, and it seems like the stars are aligning. Are we getting, they took this movie and they jumped all these other films that we thought we were getting beforehand.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it has catapulted itself into right behind, we thought what we're getting Ray possibly, or the new trilogy from
Hmm.
Kinberg, or I know there's a couple other ones, Taika Waititi. I mean, there's all these films, and then boom, all of a sudden we're getting this. They must love this script. You get these kind of actors in it. You get someone who's like Sean Levy in that as well. Maybe we're heading towards, we've talked about a lot of times how you like, is this the next generation Star Wars? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, is this going to be that experience for those people that they're going to hold on to for the next 40 to 50 years?
Hmm.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
everything's kind of coming together, and it's pretty exciting.
I really do feel like that this is what they're trying to craft. They're trying to step so far outside of the legacy era of Star Wars, as we like to refer to it, with Luke and Leia and all of that sort of stuff. And yeah, I think it's quite lovely that Matt Smith was like, he was pitched to play a villain all that time ago, and now he's back in Star Wars playing what is probably a much better villain. I didn't say that. You didn't hear me say that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm more excited than I thought I would be. Initially, Starfighter was giving me the same energy as like I remember when after The Force Awakens came out and Solo came out, and I remember sitting there and being like, yeah, but it's not Ray, so I'm not interested. So I'm not going to go and watch it. Turns out I missed out on a great film. My bad. My bad. I was feeling that way about it initially, but now I feel like these bits and pieces and hearing the director be so engaged and so just kind of switched on. And Sean Levy's a fantastic director anyway. I know, like, we talked about this when we did the Starfighter breakdown. He's got some fantastic work under his belt. So I fear only good can come from this. I'm happy to raise my expectations and go into it just really excited. Moving on to our next little bit of news. So there've been Comic Cons up and down the wazoo recently. There've been celebrities interviewed, and our friends at Star Wars Sessions did a panel interview with British actor, my apologies if I get this wrong, Joplin Sipshane. Sipshane revealed that the Game of Thrones star Rory McCann was originally cast as Brasso, Andor's close friend who appears throughout both seasons in the show. However, he dropped out early on in production due to a knee injury. Joplin said, the first day of filming, the guy playing Brasso played the Hound in Game of Thrones. They shot some of his scenes. He's 6'6", I'm 6'3", but he did his knee in. Cyprian recalled, he was on his way to work. It was very, very icy at the time, and he slipped up and did his knee in. He just had a limp and he carried on coming to work. They did a scan on it, and the consultant said, if you don't have this operated on, you're not going to be able to walk. So that was that over for him. However, if McCann had continued to play Brasso, that would have ruled him out for replacing Ray Stevenson as Balin Skull in Ahsoka Season 2 after the actor passed. So almost a fate, I feel, maybe.
Stars aligning.
The Force works in mysterious ways.
It certainly does. And I mean, I think that Joplin was exactly what Brasso needed.
Yes.
So, and then I think there's a ton of pressure on McCann to replace Ray Stevenson, but I feel like he has the acting chops to do it. So yeah, and the Force is probably working in mysterious ways right now. And let's just hope it all works out. I mean, it worked out for Joplin. Obviously, he was a pretty important
Hmm.
part to season 1 and season 2 of Andor. Big reason that we get to blow up the Death Star in A New Hope. So, and then we'll see what Rory can do as Balin.
Which it feels like that was a role he was made for, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get somebody, I really do feel like,
Hmm.
it breaks my heart every time. I don't know what it is about Balin Skull, why he speaks to me the way he does, but then Ray Stevenson, And when we're seeing him at London, he seems so alive and energetic. And then what, a couple weeks later, he's gone, and it's just like, whoa.
Mm,
Then you start looking into his life more, and it's just like, wow, like this guy has done so much for fandoms in every category. And then you think about like how much he would have, think about the reception in Japan for him had he come out on stage. I mean, I'd have been first in line to meet that man in Japan after
mhm,
Ahsoka. So but yeah, lots is like you said, there's lots of stuff, lots of Comic Cons coming on. And John Boyega made an appearance at Liverpool Comic Con this past weekend and spent time signing autographs and chatting with fans. So of course they had to ask him about the upcoming Ray movie, and this is what he had to say, which was very little. He goes, "Trust me, I'm like the Tom Holland of Star Wars. Once I know something, I'll let you know." So it seems all's quiet on the Jakku front. And if you don't get that reference, Tom Holland famously cannot keep his mouth shut, and they've actually stopped telling him things. Him and
mhm.
Mark Ruffalo are not allowed to really know what's going on typically.
Nice.
So that's a pretty good plug. I mean, they must, but yeah, I don't think anyone knows what's going on,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
I've had Jack telling me for like the last couple of weeks, "It's dead in the water, mate. It's gone. It's over. It's done with." And I refused. I will not listen. I will not listen to the devil. I refuse. It's too much. I can't. I refuse to accept that they announced this at the celebration I went to all those years ago now on the Friday when I was in the car on the way down, and we have had nothing but radio silence
Yeah.
since.
I think the Charmaine Obi Chinoy film might be finished, but I think the Simon Kinberg stuff,
Mm,
and the rumors we're getting, they're saying that things aren't tied to that, the right, sorry, the Starfighter is not tied to anything. But speaking of Tom Holland, he lied to everyone's face about Andrew Garfield
yeah.
and Tobey Maguire. So like they're not going to tell us, well, yeah, it has connections, because we've already run wild with the idea that we think Daisy Ridley is going to show up in the third act. But I do wonder if maybe that original film has seen its day, but then the Simon Kinberg stuff possibly coming in, um, and they're just trying to get that ready to go. I hope, because I really do think we need more time with Ray.
I mean, maybe I'm biased, but
Maybe a
I
little.
love her. Maybe a little. I love her. I miss her. I want to see Daisy Ridley back in Star Wars again. Sue me.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ray and Daisy Ridley and all of those wonderful things, it is coming up to my favorite time of year. No,
Christmas?
silly, no, not
No.
Christmas. It's the anniversary of The Force Awakens releasing. Deck your ships with BB-8s, or however that silly little song goes. Anyway, sequel fans get excited because The Force Awakens is rumored to be returning to cinema screens next month for the 10th anniversary. I, of course, will be there in full costume for every single night that it's running. Thank you, thank you. And also, everyone who I know, Ray cosplayers, Mark, I'm looking at you, all of you that got to go to the Royal Albert Hall and see The Force Awakens in concert, I hate you.
Ooh. Hate is a
I'm
path to the
so
dark side, Charlie.
hate is the path. I'm gonna let it consume me because the rage is too real.
Dark days coming
No,
up.
I hope the Force Awakens hype is fully going, and I'm really enjoying it. I cannot. I of course I'll go and see it in the cinema again. It was such a special memory for me.
Have you done a dark ray?
So interestingly, I do have a dark Ray costume, but I do not have her lightsaber. However, at Comic Con at the end of the month, I'm going to see if I can get Dark Ray's lightsaber for a reasonable amount of money.
I think I would like
And then
you as dark ray. That'd be sick.
I have the dress and the cape, I have all of the bits. I just don't have the lightsaber, and I've never wanted to do her without
Wow.
the lightsaber because it's the
Lightsaber.
thing.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Do they have that? They make that one?
Yeah, yeah. With the
Wow.
snap hinge and everything.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I'm excited for that. I'll chip in if you need. I want to see that
Oh,
cosplay. That's pretty awesome. Um,
Jimmy, will you be going and seeing The Force
oh
Awakens
yeah,
again in
yeah,
cinemas?
of course. I mean, um, we actually started a tradition with the boys swim team of going to see movies in December with this film, and was 2014, 2015, 14. Yeah, 15, because it's 10 years, duh. Um,
2015.
and it's funny is,
God.
what's really cool, and it's kind of neat is, I've stepped away from coaching those programs, but my two assistants were some of the first boys I ever took to the theater for this tradition that we started. So they will be continuing it. Now they're going to be taking them to see Avatar, Fire and Ash, but the tradition continues, and I'm super excited
Oh,
for that. So it's kind of a cool little, you know, just keeping it flowing, keeping it going. It's been 10 years. I can't believe it's been 10 years.
I
But yeah,
know.
I'll be there. And also pay attention to our feeds because we do have some surprises coming down for the first 18 days, I think, of December.
Hmm.
So that'll be exciting. We get more news.
More.
More. Well, speaking of more, all right. I want to thank Collider for this episode. The Ben Solo hype is seemingly never ending, and I'm more than happy to ride the train. And I am. I can't believe that I'm on board with all this. Even Ryan Johnson had something to say about it during a Collider hosted Q&A for "Wake Up Dead Man," a Knives Out mystery. Ryan Johnson reacted to the ongoing fan campaign to revive the hunt for Ben Solo, the somehow not developed sequel that was going to follow Adam Driver's redemption as Ben Solo
Hmm.
after the Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker. Johnson, who directed The Last Jedi, has remained publicly supportive of Driver's work
He
and told
has.
interviews, "Take my money. I don't know what I read about it online. I didn't know anything about it, but who knows how things are developed these days. But man, I will watch Adam Driver in anything, but I would love to see him play that character again."
Oh, Ryan, don't say these things. It breaks my heart. Like I'm sure I feel like I need to go and get Sydney for this. His the way he used Kylo Ren as a character in The Last Jedi is nothing short of iconic. Like it's so memorable, it's so impactful, and to see him be like, "Take my money. Where is my Ben Solo redemption?" It it
Yeah,
just doesn't stop.
it's it's bonkers. I mean, I'm hoping that pressure, they see it, they think, well, maybe we can do something with this, especially too, they could kick this in and we could get two Star Wars films,
Hmm.
or we could already have our film for 2028 or late 2027. That would be a phenomenal, and as much as, I have my issues with The Last Jedi, I think Ryan Johnson's great. And, he's a Star Wars fan. And so to hear him say that, that's pretty awesome.
Incredibly awesome. I'm taking us on a super tiny little Ryan Johnson detour for a sec because still, after all this time, I see people bringing up, but what about his trilogy? He's going to redo the Star Wars trilogy. He's going to redo the Star Wars sequels. Ryan Johnson said, "Clear as mud, clear as day. Nothing really happened with it." He told the Rolling Stone. "We had a great time working together, and they said let's keep doing it." In regards to Lucasfilm, and I said, "Great." I would kick ideas around with Kathy, and the short version is Knives Out happened. I went off and I made Knives Out, and that was off to the races, and I was busy making murder mysteries. He said, regarding the details of the plot, it was all very conceptual and that there was no outline or a treatment or anything. So nothing close to what the Ben Solo movie got. I would just like to remember we talked about this in a couple of episodes ago. None of all that. When discussing any involvement in the franchise in the future, Johnson said, "It's the sort of thing, if down the line there's an opportunity to do it or something else in Star Wars, I'd be thrilled. But right now, I'm doing my own stuff and I'm happy." And I'm absolutely fine with that. There is enough Star Wars, as you've been listening to for the last nearly 40 minutes, there is enough Star Wars to be contending with right now. I don't need a Ryan Johnson trilogy. I don't need it.
I mean, I'm here for it if it happened. I think, again, my personal feelings for The Last Jedi aside, I
Mm,
think that he would make an amazing trilogy, and you would never be able to count anybody safe throughout the three films. It'd be
no.
beautiful. It'd be some of the best looking Star Wars we've ever seen. Some probably the best acting and scripts. Uh, Dialogue would be great. I think there's a lot of stuff, but yeah, I mean, I would be here for it. I do like his Knives Out films. I don't think that they've maintained that same level as the first one. I think that was it. The
Mm,
Glass Onion kind of dropped a little bit. I'm really hoping that they rebound strong with this next one though. But I'm I'm here for Star Wars though. Give me more Ryan
yeah.
Johnson.
I'm dragging us back to the Ben Solo stuff because it isn't stopping, by the way. That detour was to come right back to here. Again, thank you to Collider for their intensive reporting on this. I really, really appreciate the support from the Ben Solo camp here. At least one Jedi is still fighting for redemption. In the latest act of fan resistance to Disney's baffling rejection of the hunt for Ben Solo, a Star Wars cosplayer dressed as Rey stood outside Walt Disney Studios in Burbank on Friday holding a handmade sign that read, "Where's Ben Solo?" Collider has revealed that that Ray was in fact Rachel, known online as Rachel of Jakku. Hi, Rachel. I love you. You're absolutely amazing. And on Instagram and TikTok, she staged the one-woman demonstration in full costume despite the afternoon heat. The moment was captured by passers-by, and it quickly went viral among Star Wars fans who were still mourning the scrapped project. She's an icon. She's amazing. Just absolute dedication. And if I lived closer to the Disney Studios, I would 100% be doing the same thing. I fear we might have to try and get like a Ray group
That's
together.
what I was just gonna say. They need to
Mm.
unionize and get everyone who does Ray
Unionize.
and Solo cosplay and get your BB-8 droid makers out there and
Hmm.
just get to the front of where did they say they were? Walt Disney Studios. Get out there,
Yeah.
let old Bob Iger and his grumpy, crusty self see you guys every single day for a few weeks, and maybe we could get something. Maybe they make the change. I mean, it has happened. I mean, and it's happened in Star Wars. I mean, Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka, and that was all
Yeah.
that idea sprang from a fan. You look at the Snyder cut of Justice
Yeah.
League. I mean, if there's money to be had, and it sounds like even people who didn't like some pretty famous podcasters and YouTubers who didn't like the sequel trilogy are on board for this movie.
Hmm.
And they usually hate everything because it gets them more clicks. Um, you know, I I think this is a massive misstep. Um, I'm not past the idea that this is all part of a test to see where the
Yeah.
fandom sits with it, because I mean that's almost a month old, this information, right? At least 3 weeks, at least
Yep.
3 weeks, because we sat on it for almost two because things just kept coming out.
Yeah.
Then we went through and did an entire episode, and then more things started coming out. So I would not be shocked if we end up getting something from this. So
There's
um
even more.
Yeah. So a plane with a banner, shareholders want the hunt for Ben Solo, flew over Disney Burbank base headquarters at 11 a.m. on Thursday, just hours after the company had all its earning call. It's the latest banner flying move. Fans hired a plane with a banner reading "Save the Hunt for Ben Solo" in late October, and comes the same week as flyers showed up in Los Angeles, Mid-Wilshire area on lampposts and street signs taking the form of missing persons posters. I think that was pretty clever. Star Wars fans
Hmm.
are when they're doing positive things, they're amazing. They're amazing. Missing. Have you seen this man flanked a photo of driver as Ben Solo, also known as Kylo Ren? On the top of personal information, it notes that the person was last seen 5 years ago and 5 years and 10 months ago, referring to the release date of Rise of Skywalker, which occurred in December of 2019. I think it's awesome that when fans get out there and they get after it, how positive and they're being positive, and it's like I want to see more of this.
The Raylo community on Reddit has almost doubled in size and has become this intensely unified force of, so here's the missing poster for this week. Here's this petition that you need to sign. If you comment on Disney's like Facebook post, like Bob Iger posted on Instagram yesterday. So if you comment on his post, even Junus Suotomo, who plays Chewbacca,
Oh
our
yeah,
favorite tall dude, said that sounds like such a cool idea for a film and I would love to see it myself. We'll have to see if enough excitement is generated and need for it. Now, call me crazy tinfoil hat wearing crazy person, but that feels like an extremely specific set of words to be saying. Of all of the things he could say, of course there's enough excitement. Of course, people are paying money to fly banners over Burbank Studios to say where's Ben Solo.
that and those things, and that remember that there was a big sign in New York. Those are like thousands
Hmm.
and thousands of dollars. that should tell Iger right there. There has not been a reaction. I don't think there's been a reaction to
Mm-mm,
anything Star Wars
mm-mm.
in a positive way like this. We've had negative,
Es-
even the negativity hasn't gone to this level, you know.
Especially positive reactions to sequels contents. But this is what I mean. The sequels is having its renaissance. It's happening.
I mean, it has been quite a few. I mean, it's been a years now. I mean, we're looking at 2019, going on 6 years. This
Oh
December, so
gosh.
it's right. You know, and time always, time heals all wounds. You start to, just like we're going to talk about next week with the prequels. Sometimes it takes a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of time, and then you start to realize, and maybe you have a change of. I don't want to give too much away for next week, but you have a change of perspective from a certain point of view, and people know what was good in these films, what they did like, and even the people who didn't like the sequel trilogy, they liked Kylo Ren, they like Adam Driver, they like Ben Solo. And if Bob Iger is all about making money, then make some money with a movie that people are going to want to go see. And you're going to get teenagers. You're going to get the Raylo community is going to see it multiple times.
Yes.
I mean, the fewest I've seen any of the films, I think, was 4, and that was The Rise of Skywalker. Or no, that was The Last Jedi. I saw The Rise of Skywalker 9 times, 9 in the theaters. I mean, this kind of worked out that way, but I enjoyed it every single time I went to see it. So I just think I just think that it's crazy. And now they're getting these famous people talking about it. I think it's building up momentum. I honestly think you could see something happening because of all this positive fan
Mm.
interaction, handling it in the right way. Makes my heart happy.
Exactly what you said 100 times over. Exactly that.
All right. Hey, folks, we got more news. Just in case you didn't know.
Just in
This week in
case.
Star Wars. First, we had Star Wars Eclipse making its return. Now, as first reported at what is that? Science sffgazette.com, we finally have an update on a long gestating Rebel pilot project, courtesy of Scooper at My Time to Shine. Hello. Apparently, Rogue Squadron is now being developed as a TV series, suggesting Lucasfilm has given up on the idea of it being a movie. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy previously indicated that Rogue Squadron could be redeveloped as a TV series a while ago, but it's always interesting to see rumors popping up out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere, this popped up.
Yeah.
Just to give people some, you can hopefully go over and look at our YouTube page. There should be a really short clip, but I'll give you the synopsis. My Time to Shine. Hello, responsible for the Doctor Doom stuff, like reporting on things. That Jessica Jones's involvement in some of the Daredevil stuff before it came
Mm-hmm.
out. I mean, this person, I don't know if this is a man or a woman, so they have been, regardless of who they are, they have been pretty accurate with some pretty big information. And I've seen positive and negative reactions to this information. So, Charlie, what's your first thought of when you think about Rogue Squadron possibly becoming a Disney Plus series?
I actually think the TV series this might be maybe a controversial opinion to some people. I actually think the TV series is where Disney Star Wars like shines. Genuinely. I know obviously all we have right now are the sequels movies and then we've got Solo and we've got Rogue One, but I think Disney's had a lot more time to work on its formula for TV series for Disney. And yeah, like maybe not everybody liked The Acolyte and maybe not everybody liked Kenobi. I did. I had a great time. And even though I wasn't initially too interested in the idea behind Rogue Squadron, not that we really had much of an idea other than Rebel pilots and X-Wings, because I'm not a big Patty Jenkins. I'm not a fan of the Wonder Woman films. Just a personal preference. But I think maybe as a TV series, I feel like it could possibly have some purchase. I feel like it's gonna give me the same energy as like Rebels and Bad Batch, but just in live action, which I'm absolutely here for. Do you think there's a place in Star Wars for Rogue Squadron?
Well, that's what I think there could be if they change. I think a lot's going to have to change with the original script. I know we don't know what the original script is, but I'm assuming it's not anything to do with Ryan Gosling and Starfighter, but I think there's some
No.
potential to make it work. I feel like if, in 2027, when we get Starfighter, which, about a pilot, then where is this going to take us? Are people going to get confused? Like, when is this taking place? When is the series, when was it? We don't know anything about this.
No.
So I think it has potential. I think that you could link it to Starfighter, because if he's a pilot, he could be part of Rogue Squadron, right? And then it's like, if Starfighter's as great as we think it might be, you bring him into Disney Plus, or he does cameos or something like that, and you could tie it all together. That would be good marketing. That would be good storytelling. That would make
Mhm.
sense that, these characters continue on if we get to meet any of them or something like that in the beginning of the first Starfighter. But I I was really, really excited for this. And then, of course, Wonder Woman 84 did terrible. It wasn't a great movie. I loved the first Wonder Woman. The second one I was like, what is happening? And it kind of led me to my dislike in Pedro Pascal because of his performance in it as well. And I didn't not be fair to him. It could be just bad writing and stuff like that. But yeah, it wasn't great. And then, of course, they shelved Wonder Woman 3 whenever James Gunn came in and took over the DCEU. I don't know if there is a place for this right now, but we don't know of anything after Ahsoka season 2. But they wouldn't be able to have this ready. This would still be a couple years away.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Honestly, what I wouldn't give to be a fly on the wall inside Lucasfilm at the moment, specifically like their social media press team that relay all of this information to the execs and all of the people in the upper kind of echelons of things, who then decide like, yes, we'll confirm this, no, we won't make a comment about this, we'll ignore this. I want to know what's going on. I feel like we need to go and talk to Brendan a bit more, because he definitely has more answers than I've ever met from anyone in Star Wars.
well, yeah, and that thing too is like, you know, is there a place for, Rogue Squadron that's a place for the people that are in Ahsoka season 1 and season 2, that group? Like, is this, and do we get more Brendan Wayne then because he gets to play his character from Ahsoka?
I Do we even know when it would be taking place in the timeline?
Well,
This is what I
yeah,
find
that's the
really
thing. We
interesting.
don't know
Like,
anything.
where would this, what if this is set like, I don't know, like a New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi era, when like the rebel pilots are just sort of getting on I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it felt like Rogue Squadron came out at a time when we were on the cusp of something kind of really new and really untouched with Star Wars, and they were bringing lots of big directors in and attaching lots of names and putting lots and lots and lots of projects out, and it
Yeah, this is the
so we've
problem.
lost so much of that over the years. Like, it's been whittled down and whittled down and whittled down to sort of like one thing maybe confirmed. And like Mando and Grogu was like a season 4 before it was a film. And I remember when that changed and how confused I got. And it just I know it's not our business to know what goes on behind closed doors of these like film companies and businesses and things, but some clarity would be nice. I think as a fan and an enjoyer, just a slither of clarity would be so helpful in moments like this.
Yeah, I that's why, we've talked about this at length a couple times now. Is like, I'd rather not know until it happens. Now, you can't help if a scooper drops this information on us. That's not Disney's
No.
fault that they can't keep. I mean, it is their fault they can't keep things under wrap. It seems like when they really, really want to, they can. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, Patty Disney was going, like you said, they were announcing stuff anytime anybody came
Mm.
out with a big movie, because Wonder Woman 1, the first Wonder Woman movie did terrific, right? And it's everything that Kathleen Kennedy wanted. And I'm not knocking this at all, so people don't get mad at me. But like, you had this female director, you had a female centric character, and it was female power. And I liked the movie. I thought it was
Mm.
great, the first one. I loved it. I was so excited for Wonder Woman 84, and then I was so disappointed in it. If I'm being perfectly honest, I was like, "What just happened on this screen?" So, and then Disney has done this with people though, because as soon as things go sideways for them, that film just kind of gets pushed under the rug. Not just with women
Yeah.
directors though, because we had what are the two gentlemen from Game of Thrones? Things were great. They were going to be the next big thing, and then season 8 happened or whatever it was of Game of Thrones, and that was not received well. They went bye bye. There are a couple other ones too. I think that like this person's attached, and then no, and I mean even Ryan Johnson, which we talked about earlier. I mean, I bet you those movies were next thing on the docket. Knives Out wouldn't have happened if The Last Jedi had made $2 billion, right? It wouldn't have happened. He just now
Yeah.
began out with the first Knives Out movie. So Disney does this. They grab somebody who's hot, but then that's why I was so worried about James Mangold with the biopic of
Yeah.
so I'm glad it did well because after Indiana Jones kind of flopped, I was like, "Uh-oh, are we going to get this now?" Because they like to distance themselves when these directors
They do.
don't do what they just previously did. So I'm looking at her stuff. Wonder Woman, obviously one, and then
Mm.
1984. Monster, however, was I think that won like Academy Awards with Charlize Theron and stuff like that. She also did The Killing, which was a series I saw on Netflix. It is a dark and it is a twisted murder mystery that goes over like 3 seasons. Um, and some of the stuff, a lot of it looks like it's like this mystery and darkish kind of stuff. I don't imagine,
Mm.
I can't foresee, although she does have Arrested Development on her schedule, on her list of accolades, Arrested Development, Entourage. So there are some
Oh,
things out there outside of it.
gosh.
Yeah. So, um, you know, I'm fine with her coming in and doing this. What will she want to do a television show again? Like, I mean, The Killing was a bunch of episodes that spanned over 2 years, I think, in Netflix, which was really good. If you haven't watched that, it was pretty dark.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, is this one of those things where you just need to move on? I would love space battles too, but some of the argument has been, is there enough money? Will they drop enough money? Because you think about all the space battles we've seen in all of the Star Wars shows, not the movies, the shows, Disney streaming shows. Those battles have been lacking. There hasn't been
Yeah.
great CGI special effects for, the Eye of Aldani is pretty good, but it's pretty basic. There's not a
Yeah.
lot going on. It's not the Battle of Scarif. It's not Rogue. Uh, Poe Dameron coming in on the top of the water for the Force Awakens. Like, and this is a TV show about starfighters, about pilots. Are they going to be able to deliver? Will there be enough money in the budget to make this happen?
I'm never sure. When it comes to scoopers and leakers, I think I've been burnt by quite a lot of them in the past. This person who broke this, My Time to Shine Hello, not somebody that I've come across before, so a legitimacy that I can't speak to. But if you say that they've been pretty accurate over the years with things, then you know what? Why not? I do wonder if this would probably, I'm assuming that because of obviously like with Wonder Woman and Monster and things like this, Patty Jenkins prefers to do kind of women-led stories. Great. Love that. Um, I would be really interested to see like a female-led like X-Wing pilot storyline. I feel like that could be really interesting and really different. And I
Um,
guess with a TV series, you've got more time to play, you've got more time to play in the sandbox, you've got more toys to play with. I think there's room to enjoy and indulge a little more rather than like a film being super, super limited. Like when we talked about the Mando and Grogu, not in the interview with Brendan, when we did the episode about like the trailer and the posters and everything, and how sort of it seems to be that Sigourney Weaver's only in like a tiny little portion of it, and this other person's only in a little bit of it because they've only got like 2 hours versus like 8 for a TV series or
yeah,
12 or 6, depending on how they break it down. Yeah.
you could do some
If
cool
this
stuff
is
with it.
legit, it could be really cool. Yeah, exactly. I think cool is definitely that's something Star Wars always does so well. It has such a even with the Disney takeover, there's still such a deep understanding of like the rule of cool.
I think one thing that popped into my head was kind of Nora Wexley. So you'd have this. So
Mm.
she's, people who don't know her, she's in the Aftermath series. She's kind of leading the charge. With her son is Snap Wexley. He's just a kid at this time. But I mean, if you could do a pilot show about
Ooh.
that crew, and this is something I've been singing, I've been talking about for years, is that Imperial hunting crew that they have in that, and adding starfighters, adding some pilots in there, Nora to that group, that would be awesome. You could have some stuff in the background going on with right after the fall of the Empire. You could turn it into some other thing. I mean, you could do a lot of stuff with this, but are they going to?
That's the thing, isn't it? Are they going to? That's the hook. We shall see. We shall see. Jimmy, I'm shattered. We've gone through so much news. There has been so much happening this week in Star Wars. Is it time to say goodbye and farewell to our lovely listeners and watchers?
I don't wanna.
I don't want to either.
But we kind of
I
gotta.
feel like I could get another hour out of this, but I may end up just,
I
and I don't
do
think anyone wants that.
No, I do think though, and people need to tell us in the comments if we get any more information about this becoming a television show. I think we need to dive into it. I think there's lots of
Hmm.
potential. Kind of got fired up just thinking about Nora Wexley and some possibilities.
It's
So,
cute.
but yeah, so folks, we have gone through a ton of stuff, all the news, all the news. There shouldn't be anything out there that we haven't covered. If you have any questions or just want your voice heard, then DM us on our socials or send us an email or voice note at exploretheforce@gmail.com. And remember to like this episode, share it with your Star Wars friends and family, to follow us on all of our social media platforms. All you have to do is search Explore the Force, all one word. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Also, if you want to show your support and spread the word around by image as well as voice, then head on over to Redbubble and search Explore the Force, where you can purchase unique merchandise. And a massive thank you to everyone interacting with us via our social media. You keep this podcast amazing.
Finally, you've been listening or watching Explore the Force. We have spoken. We'll see y'all next week.